Hey guys, what's up? It's Jade here, and I'm just popping in really quick, of course, like always, to say, hey out there to everybody. I hope everybody's doing really good and having a really positive day. All that I really wanted to come and talk to you guys about today is none other than what's been going on everywhere, the infamous girl, you got Shemale, the RuPaul's Drag Race incident, and then the RuPaul's and logo statements that have been released regarding the whole she-male and tranny terms. Okay, first off, I'm just gonna start this off by saying, as a trans woman who is going through her transition, who is early in her transition, I'm gonna say it just like this. Do I like RuPaul? Yes, I love RuPaul. I love what RuPaul does. I think RuPaul is an amazing person, amazing drag performer, and an amazing man. RuPaul has done great things for the gay and lesbian community. Now, as far as the transgender community, I'm not too sure about that. I personally, I have never really heard of RuPaul doing anything for our trans community. And, I could be wrong. I could be wrong because I don't know everything. I'm not Wikipedia. I'm not Encyclopedia. I'm not a thesaurus. I don't know everything. But as far as I know personally, I don't know of RuPaul really doing anything really invasive, I guess, or really monumental in the trans community to help trans people. Um, and as far as that goes, that's no shade to RuPaul because I'm sure RuPaul has. But, as far as the gay and lesbian community, I know for a fact that RuPaul has done major things to help them. And as far as the drag community, RuPaul has done monumental things to help the drag world. Now, as far as this whole she-male and tranny terms, basically what I'm referring to there, as a lot of you must know already, there was a game that was played on RuPaul's Drag Race this season that just ended, with whoop whoop 2 snaps to Bianca Del Rio for winning, but this past season, and they had to play she-male, which basically was, can you guess the female from the psychological female? And see, here's the problem. Right there, that in itself, to me, was just completely so disrespectful, not needed, uncalled for at all. It just was, what was the point? Because it wasn't only in the game while they were playing on the show that they were making fun of transgender women, because to me, honestly, they were making fun of us as trans women, but they were also degrading biological women at the same time, saying, "Oh well, if your hands are too big, or if your waist isn't this small, you're not feminine enough," and or the way you stand or the way your hair is, like, it just, to me, it was really degrading. And I mean, again, like how I said, they edit everything. I mean, I could edit this video to make it sound however I want, or someone could take this video and edit it to sound however they want. But what I'm saying is, when they even played that game, something in them should have clicked, since they did have transgender members that were on that show in the past. Something in them should have said, you know what, maybe this game might be a little too controversial. But clearly they didn't think that way, and they didn't think, oh, this is going to be controversial at all, and they thought that it was going to be perfectly fine and okay to go on ahead and play this game. Right? Now, that's an issue in itself, that it clearly is just basically being put out there that you didn't think that anything was wrong with playing this game. You didn't think that anything was wrong with doing it the way that you did it, or with embarrassing some of the people that you embarrassed, which I just found to be quite rude, and something that I never thought would be in RuPaul's character. Now, yet again, I don't know RuPaul one-on-one, of course, so this could have been something thought up by the management. But as far as I know, that's RuPaul's show, so I mean, girl, when Tyra Banks is doing America's Next Top Model, she has the final say because it's her show. So, I mean, that's a controversial thing that you chose to do, and RuPaul chose to go forward with it. So, now, as well, something that always bothered me with RuPaul's Drag Race was the "You Got Shemale." Now, yeah, it's catchy. Yes, it's cute. but it's still a slap in the face. I mean, it's supposed to be like, oh, she and male for, you know, like, oh, they're male of the week, but it kind of still is that term of she-male, which to a lot of transgender women, transgender, transsexual women, whichever one you prefer, is it's a very critical term. It's almost like me being of another descent and walking up to a black person and saying the N word. Like, you know, or me walking up to a Hispanic person and calling them, you know, a derogatory term. Um, it's just a really rude term that, you know, bothers a lot of people. And what's been bothering me is that a lot of, you know, trans activists, trans women, transgender women that were on the show have came out with statements, you know, saying, oh, you know, these words bother us, you know, we would like it if we could just be acknowledged, and the fact that, you know, these words do bother us, and that, you know, these are hurtful words to us. Even girls here on YouTube have definitely spoke out about it, that, you know, that is a term, like tranny and she-male are terms for some girls, that it really does affect them, and it really does hurt them as a person, because those are derogatory terms that for a lot of girls have been thrown at them as a dagger, you know, to bring them down in a sense. And basically the response that the trans community is getting is, suck it up, you know. Basically the response that the trans community got from the gay community was, suck it up, you guys are trying to be victims, stop victimizing yourselves, and yada 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 yada. Okay, which I have a whole separate video to do about the homosexual gays, homosexuals. Oh, I don't want to say that disrespectfully, but you know what I'm saying. Right, about them and trans community together, you know. And then as far as RuPaul's statements, where RuPaul said something along the lines of, if a word is one of your biggest problems, then maybe you got bigger issues or bigger problems or something like that, and you should deal with whatever that is. First of all, honey, God knows I love you, Miss RuPaul. But first of all, honey, you're RuPaul. Come on now, Gert. You could have thought of a better way to word that. Like, you know what I mean? And that's, I'm not sure, you know, for word, I'm going off the top of my head, but I know that it was, if you got bigger problems, then maybe you should deal with something else, because that shouldn't be your biggest problem as a word. And my thing is, girl, that's okay, but for some people, that word is offensive. You know what I mean? And even after that, RuPaul also has said that, you know, he loves using the word tranny, which, you know, everybody's entitled to their freedom of speech. This is very true. But yet again, a lot of girls have come out with these same words that, you know, these words are hurtful, these words are derogatory to our community. Could you please not use these words? And for some reason, it's not seeming to get through to the gay community, to RuPaul's camp. Logo released a statement, you know, trying to say, oh, we understand, they were something along the lines that they were going to pull that episode, or, you know, that game will no longer be played, and the she-male term will no longer be used in RuPaul's Drag Race, yada, 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 yada. That's fine, that's great, that's dandy. But the issue is that we have someone who is supposed to be one of the 4 figures in our community, you know, in our GLBT community, you know, still saying basically, girl, it's a word, it's whatever, I'm gonna use it. Okay, and so that basically, as a trans woman, if I decide to say, well, you're a fag, I wonder how, and I said it publicly on TV, I wonder how many homosexual men and women would come after me with daggers if I was a public figure in that sense, as RuPaul was. I would be chased down. You know what I'm saying, girl? Because that's a derogatory term that people don't like. So, you know, I just feel like with this whole situation, it's just a whole bunch of messiness. And I feel like it's never really going to be, I don't even know, like, it's never going to really be resolved, because RuPaul's saying, you know, I love using the term tranny, nobody's going to change what I say, I don't care about the term she-male, basically, you know, like, no sincerity there, which is fine, you know, that's how he feels, that's it. I feel a certain way about things too, so hey. And, you know, what we're getting from, you know, the gay community and all that, you know, hey. And then, you know, my only issue is that I hope that this is not how cis people think that trans people are, that you can just call us trannies and things like that, and think that we're going to be like, girl, no, it's not okay, you know. But I'm definitely going to come back and touch on this a little bit more But as well, I do just want to preface this and say, because this video is getting to 10 minutes, I do just want to preface this and say really quickly, I personally do not have an issue with the term tranny or shemale, or like tranny or shemale. They don't really bother me because I on occasion have said tranny once or twice, like about myself, like, girl, I'm just a tranny. But, joking with my friends. Now, I've never called myself a shemale, not even jokingly, I've never called myself a shemale. Just never have, unless I'm an adult entertainer. I don't see the reason to, unless I'm profiting from that word. And I'm not, so don't see the reason to use shemale. But the one thing that does piss me off, that you can piss me off with, is if you try to call me a man. Honey, I may have a Kermit the Frog voice right now, but she is getting that together, okay? And I'm cute as hell, so the only word that really can offend me as a transgender woman is, that's a man. So, I mean, and even then, some people say it, and when I get clocked occasionally, and I'm like, okay, whatever floats your boat, because it's usually a man, and it's usually because they try to get my number, and I shut them down, so. But anywho, that's really all I wanted to come in and rant about really quick. I did not expect this video to be long. I always say that, but they always are long. But anywho, I really hope, that I maybe got my point across. I don't know. I'll probably come back and talk about it a little bit more, even though it's kind of an older subject. And yeah, I just hope everybody out there is having a good day. As well, if you guys feel a certain way about it, or if you guys, made a video about it or anything like that, definitely let me know. Write me in the comment section. Leave your video, whatever. If you wrote it in a blog, leave your blog down there. I'd love to see it. But yeah, thumbs up this video if you liked it, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye, dolls. And remember, you're all high society.